Have you ever looked at someone and felt, even for a fleeting moment, that they were untouched by the usual weight of years? Not because of cosmetics, not because of good genetics, and not because they spent their life in a spa, but because something within them radiated outward, something so alive it defied the logic of time itself. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments where you are watching from. We would love to see how far this conversation is reaching. There are women who seem to glow with a light that is not of the skin, but of the soul. Their faces tell stories, yet they remain fresh. Their eyes shine with both wisdom and childlike wonder. And as you stand in their presence, you feel an odd paradox. They carry the weight of experience, yet they seem unburdened by it. What is this secret? What sustains them while others are visibly consumed by time? Let us slow down here. Because this is not just about them. This is about you, about all of us. The mystery of youth is not hidden in creams, in knives, or in the endless battle against wrinkles. It is hidden in consciousness. It begins not before the mirror, but in the quiet, often uncomfortable space of the soul. And this is where the conversation gets deeper than appearances. Carl Jung understood something that most people still overlook today. He believed the psyche, the state of your inner world, shapes the body more powerfully than biology alone. Imagine carrying tension, regret, unprocessed pain for decades. Does it not eventually show on the face, in the way someone walks, in the heaviness of their presence? Now imagine the opposite, a soul that transforms pain into meaning, that faces shadows without denial, that learns to release what no longer serves. Such a soul radiates through the body in ways that defy the ordinary passage of time. Think of a woman who has endured loss, disappointment, perhaps betrayal. And yet when you meet her, you do not see bitterness etched into her face. Instead, you see softness. Not weakness, but strength that has melted into gentleness. This is not because she avoided suffering. It is because she transmuted it. She did the work of the inner alchemist, converting pain into light. That light is what makes her seem younger than her years. This is where the story gets both mysterious and profoundly practical. The women who embody this radiance live according to a rhythm different from the clock. Most of us are enslaved to Chronos, the ticking, relentless forward march of time. Minutes become hours, hours become years, and every birthday feels like a mark against the body. But there is another kind of time the ancients called Kairos, sacred time, the eternal now. The women who glow live more in Kairos than Chronos. To them, life is not merely passing. Life is happening. Every moment contains renewal. They live inside the eternal pulse of becoming. Pause here. Can you feel the difference in your own life between rushing to meet deadlines and being fully alive in a single timeless moment? Perhaps while watching the sunset, holding a child, or being so immersed in a conversation that hours dissolve into seconds. That is Kairos. That is where regeneration lives. The secret of these women is not to escape time, but to befriend it. And friendship with time begins by befriending oneself. Now, Jung spoke often about the shadow, those hidden parts of ourselves we suppress because they feel shameful, dark, or unacceptable. Most people spend enormous energy pushing these parts away, pretending they do not exist. That repression drains life. It hardens the body. It ages the face. The women who shine are those who have made peace with their shadow. They looked at the hidden corners of their psyche and said, "I see you. You belong. I will integrate you." From that moment, the energy once spent fighting themselves became energy for renewal, for joy, for radiance. This is why, when you meet them, their presence feels whole. They are not fragmented. They are not performing a role. Their laughter is not forced, and their silence does not feel empty. They carry what Jung called the philosopher's stone, a state of inner completeness that glows outwardly. Think of the opposite, people who are forever fighting themselves, who wear masks they cannot remove, who cling desperately to an image. Does that not etch itself onto the face? The lines of strain, the stiffness of posture, the hollowness of the eyes. Aging in such cases is not just biological. It is psychological. Science, in fact, has caught up to this truth. Modern research shows emotions influence how genes express themselves. Chronic stress shortens telomeres, the protective ends of DNA that guard against cellular aging. Inner calm, joy, and a sense of meaning help those same telomeres regenerate. The body listens to the soul every single day. So let me ask you, how do you treat your inner life? Do you carry unspoken bitterness? Do you cling to roles and expectations that are suffocating you? Or do you allow yourself the grace to release, to forgive, to step lightly into the next season? Because make no mistake, time will leave its mark on all of us, but whether it marks us with heaviness or with beauty depends on the state of our inner world. Jung described another phenomenon he called the observing self, the ability to step outside one's own drama and simply witness it. Women who cultivate this perspective do not identify with every passing struggle. Yes, difficulties come. Yes, aging unfolds. But they stand slightly apart, watching with a kind of serenity. And paradoxically, by observing their aging consciously, they slow it down. They do not fight time as an enemy. They recognize it as a teacher. This is not passivity. It is a profound transformation of perspective. When you no longer fight time, you create space to dance with it. I once heard it said, some women look younger because they spend their energy chasing youth. Others look younger because they spend their energy living fully. Which one do you wish to be? The radiant woman practices release. She knows when to let things die. Old grudges, old identities, old seasons that no longer serve. Many grow old quickly because they cling. Clinging to youth, clinging to images, clinging to relationships or beliefs that expired long ago. But the radiant woman lets go. She dies 1,000 small deaths along the way, and each death gives birth to a new self. This is why she appears continually renewed, continually fresh. Her relationship to roles, what Jung called the persona, is also fluid. She wears masks when necessary, but lightly. She does not confuse the mask with the face. She is not consumed by the need to impress, to perform, to prove. That freedom releases the body from constant tension. And tension, as you know, is what ages us more than time itself. Here is something remarkable. In their presence, you feel lighter. It is as if their friendship with time spills over to those around them. Your own anxieties about age seem smaller. Your own restlessness quiets. You feel even briefly what it means to exist outside the prison of minutes and hours. Does this sound mystical? Perhaps, but it is also profoundly human. Every one of us has the capacity to live this way. The question is not whether it is possible. The question is whether we have the courage to walk the inner path, because make no mistake, it is not an easy path. To embody timelessness, one must confront the shadow, release the past, let die what no longer belongs, and embrace both pain and joy as necessary teachers. That is why so few walk this way. But those who do shine like living reminders that our bodies are mirrors of our souls. So perhaps the secret to youth is not hidden in a bottle or a treatment, but in this paradox. The more you fight time, the older you become. The more you embrace time, the younger your spirit remains. And maybe the real question we must ask ourselves is not, how can I avoid aging? But rather, how can I carry my years with such light that they no longer weigh me down? Pause with that thought. Let it sink in. Because episode 2 will take us deeper into how this mystery unfolds, how the body responds to soul work, and why women who embody this extraordinary quality do not simply resist aging, they redefine it. Science has begun to confirm what the mystics and thinkers like Jung already knew. The psyche and the body are not strangers to one another. They are partners in an intimate dance. Your emotions affect your hormones. Your beliefs influence your immune system. Your state of mind reaches into your DNA and alters the way your cells regenerate. When a woman cultivates peace in her soul, her body listens. When she nurtures meaning, Her very biology bends toward renewal. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, how often do you flood your system with stress, with worry, with self-criticism? Each of those emotions etches itself into your body's chemistry. They speed the clock. But when you choose forgiveness, when you hold joy, when you embrace silence as sacred, something astonishing happens. The very processes of aging begin to slow. The women who embody timeless radiance know this not as theory, but as lived truth. They live with reverence for life itself. They see the body not as a machine to be forced into youth, but as a temple that responds to the state of the soul. This reverence is a shield. It is not about pretending age does not exist. It is about embodying a beauty that is untouched by fear of age. Think of the times you have met someone who seemed older than their years. Was it their hair? Their skin? Or was it the heaviness of spirit? The dullness in the eyes, the resignation in the voice? Aging is not just biology. It is the soul's exhaustion when it stops renewing itself. And the reverse is also true. Vitality is not just youth. It is the soul's courage to keep transforming. There is a term Jung used, the transcendent function. It is the bridge between the conscious mind and the unconscious, a connection that allows true transformation to occur. The radiant woman walks across this bridge daily. She does not live only on the surface of life. She listens to her dreams, her intuitions, her inner whispers. She is guided not only by logic, but also by the deeper currents of her psyche. That connection to the unconscious becomes a fountain of renewal. Consider this. While many of us fear dreams, bury emotions, or ignore intuition, she embraces them as messages. They bring balance. They prevent inner poison from spreading. They remind her that there is always more to her than what is visible. And because she lives in dialogue with this inner world, she carries a vitality that never fades. There is another secret. The radiant woman does not cling to the past. She practices what Jung called the art of letting die. She allows endings to be endings. She understands that each stage of life requires a small death. A death of old identities, old roles, old attachments. Most people resist these deaths, clinging desperately to what was. And resistance, as you know, creates tension. Tension ages the body. But she surrenders to the rhythm of death and rebirth. In every letting go, she discovers new life. This is why her face remains open, her body light, her energy unburdened. She does not carry yesterday into today. She meets the new season as herself, not as a shadow of who she used to be. Pause here. Think of your own life. What roles are you clinging to that no longer belong? What grudges or outdated identities are weighing you down? What would happen if you dared to release them? The women who radiate timeless beauty also have a profound relationship with suffering. Unlike many who become hardened, bitter, or resentful through pain, they approach suffering as a teacher. Jung called this the religious function of the psyche. Not religion in the institutional sense, but the ability to treat every experience as sacred, every wound as meaningful. These women do not deny grief. They cry, they rage, but they also allow each wound to carve wisdom into the soul. This attitude protects them. Where bitterness leaves marks, they allow pain to soften them into compassion. Where disappointment leaves wrinkles of despair, they allow it to shape lines of grace. Their bodies carry the memory of wounds, yes, but transmuted wounds, wounds turned into light. This, I believe, is the heart of their secret. They do not run from life. They integrate it. And integration is what creates radiance. Now let us look at something even more mysterious. Jung spoke of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that reveal a hidden order in life. The radiant woman lives so attuned to her inner world that synchronicities seem to follow her. Opportunities arise at the right moment. Healing arrives when needed. Encounters feel destined. This connection to hidden order gives her presence a magnetic quality. She seems aligned not only with herself, but with the very rhythm of the universe. And what does alignment do to the body? It relaxes it. It opens it. It regenerates it. The body thrives in harmony. It withers in chaos, This is why these women seem to live partially outside of time. They are not racing against the clock. They are dancing with it, and in their dance they bend it. There is a poetic paradox here. Yes, their bodies age, but they do so in the rhythm of the soul, not in the tyranny of minutes. Wrinkles may appear, hair may gray, but none of it feels like decay. It feels like unfolding. They are not victims of time. They are companions of it. Jung once described the archetype of the wise woman, not the caricature of a crone bent under the years, but a living embodiment of timeless wisdom. This archetype awakens when the feminine aligns with the eternal. And here is the extraordinary part. Anyone can awaken it. It does not belong to a chosen few. It belongs to every soul willing to do the inner work. So let me ask, what if you too could carry this quality? What if aging was not a slow decline, but an invitation into deeper beauty, deeper radiance, deeper wholeness? Imagine walking into a room, not with the forced glow of someone hiding their years, but with a presence so whole it bends the light toward you. People cannot name why, but they feel it. They feel the dignity, the openness, the freshness. That is not magic. That is the result of integration, and this integration is the ultimate alchemy, the union of opposites. The radiant woman has balanced strength with vulnerability, wisdom with innocence, light with shadow. She has married the masculine and the feminine within herself. From this union she radiates harmony. And harmony is beauty, always. Her face is not perfect because of luck. It is perfect because it reflects balance. Her eyes shine not because of youth, but because of inner clarity. Her body remains vital not because she resists age, but because she surrenders to transformation. This is the symbolic life Jung described, a life in which every moment, every challenge, every joy is lived as part of a larger story. This sense of meaning is the ultimate protection against decay. For where there is no meaning, life force drains away. But where every moment is seen as sacred, the soul remains alive, and the body follows. As we draw this reflection to a close, let me say this plainly. The secret to youth is not to chase it. The secret is to cultivate a soul that shines so brightly, it cannot help but illuminate the body. It is to live in dialogue with your inner world, to release what no longer belongs, to embrace suffering as a teacher, to treat time as a friend, and to embody the eternal rhythm of becoming. Such women exist not to make us envy them, but to remind us of what we too can become. Their radiance is not reserved. It is a path open to all who dare to walk the road inward. So if there is one question to leave with you, it is this. Are you ready to begin? Are you ready to stop fighting time and instead walk beside it, to transform pain into light, to integrate shadow into wholeness, to live as a soul that shapes its own radiance? Because in the end, the mystery of timeless beauty is not about them. It is about you.